Yo, how you doing? I'm Wendy Juma on my own. We are doing a post-match reaction. We just beat Wolves 2-0 to give us a great opportunity to get in top four. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. Just a post-match show here for you guys. Wow, 2-0, and Garnacho's come on and secured the win for us. That 1-0 always looked a bit dodgy. They could have just come at the end and created another goal, or we could have made a mistake like we have seen in recent weeks. But Garnacho came on and gave us that blistering pace and ability to get in behind and be direct and score the goal. What a performance. We're now 3 points clear of Liverpool again. Well, it's 4 points now, and over to them. Let's see what they can do. Brilliant performance there. I'm really pleased by that. I know a lot of you guys maybe didn't get to watch the game, but if you're in the chats, give us a shout out. Yes, big up to Bill Badger, man. How you doing? I'm good, thank you. Did you get to watch the game? If not, let's go through it, guys, because yeah, good result. Nice home form win. Exactly what we needed. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Team selection today. So obviously we got started with De Gea in goal. We had Wan-Bissaka at right back. Now, a lot of people questioning, we in the show before the review, the preview, sorry, we were saying maybe Dalot or Wan-Bissaka had a good opportunity to play because we're playing at home. We suggested that Dalot would play because he's better going forward, apparently. But Wan-Bissaka started today, and I thought Wan-Bissaka didn't put a foot wrong, really. Everyone says about in the final third, him getting forward, he's not good enough, but he keeps the ball really well. If we come on to that in player ratings, but Wan-Bissaka started with Lindelof and Varane. So there's no left footer today at centre back. It was Lindelof and Varane. Don't know what you're thinking. Bill Badger saying he didn't see the game live, so we're giving the lowdown for sure. So it was Lindelof back in contention again now. He's keeping back from injury. And it was, it was Varane and Lindelof in the centre defence. No left-footed centre back there. And Shaw played left back, and we needed him back there. He's gives us that real balance, doesn't he? In midfield, we start with Casemiro and Eriksen. Standard, I'd say, wouldn't you? That was standard. And we go into performance in a bit. I thought they did brilliantly today. Anthony on the right-hand side. Big up to Bath Time. How you doing, man? Did you see the game, Bath Time? Big up to Emma as well. Did you see the game? Isn't Lindelof kind of left foot, both-footed? No, he's predominantly right-footed, I'd say. But he can pass it quite standard with his left foot. But when it comes to pinging the ball, I don't think so. Just change the subject. I think John Terry, my brother used to be a ball boy, not a ball boy, as a steward on the bench at Chelsea. And he said, and it's true, John Terry used to ping the ball both footed, left foot and right foot, like it was nothing. Yes, Zoe Media House in the house. Zoe Media House in the house with her house music blazing probably in the background. She's saying, wow, I enjoyed that. I did too. That was class. And Bath Time saying, yeah, he saw the game. Massive fan of the scruffy Varane. He's got a new rough look to him, hasn't he, late in the season? And it's good to have him back. I think it was his experience, as the manager said in the post-match, pre-match press conference, he said that Varane offers experience and it's vital to have him back. And that was definitely what we saw today. So Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, he started with those two. I don't think there's any argument there. The argument comes because Garnacho is back. We had a show yesterday and there was a suggestion that Garnacho could start the game. I said no. I thought that he hasn't really started many games. He comes on late and does the business. Not to say I told you so, but that's what we've seen. That's the observation we've seen all season. So he started with Anthony on the right, Bruno obviously in the sort of 10 role or whatever role you'd call that these days, and Sancho on the left. And we get onto performance soon, but we got Martial up front as well. There's no Weghorst. So it was the only sort of selection issues I have to say here was the right back situation. It was either Dalot or it was going to be Wan-Bissaka. He went with that Wan-Bissaka. Left back was Shaw, obviously. I don't think there's any argument that he's over Malacia at the moment. So no issues there. It's just a centre-back partnership, two right footers. Maguire was on the bench, not in contention. Lindelof deserves his spot because he's been playing well in recent weeks with Shaw. And obviously Varane is a starter, so he came in. No issues, I don't think, with you guys with midfield too. We had Casemiro and Eriksen. Anthony on the right. I don't think anyone's got any issue with that. If you have, just give me a shout. We can talk about it. And Bruno, standard. He's in. He's a first teamer. The only two was Martial for Weghorst. Could have been Weghorst, could have been Martial, but I think Martial deserves his spot. And Sancho on the left because Rashford was injured today, as we all know. I'm just going to go through a few more comments, guys. Two Jersey Juma, yes. That rhymes, does it? It's like a horse, a horse race. The two Jersey Juma. Yeah, I've got 2 home games, 2 home kits. Well, sorry, 1 home kit. That's the red, and that's the away kit from this season. I've got a friend who sells tops, so I'm not buying straight from the Glazers. And I just want to support local businesses and that. So I bought 2 this season, but they don't fit. My belly's got too big, so it just I look like one of these Newcastle fans, overweight with this tight top on me. It looks like I sprayed it on. Anyway, want to say big up to Bart. It says great to see Garnacho mark his return with a goal. Fantastic, wasn't it? Zoe Media House saying, hey, I'm on day waves and hugs. How you doing, Zoe? Hope you're doing well, girl, after that performance. Dan Varane had a fight with the ball in the first 20 minutes. Yeah. I don't know, Bafta, what do you think? Because I thought Varane was a bit shaky initially, and he gave away a few passes, but obviously he's a class defender. But he's just coming back from injury, isn't he? Again, how many times have we said that about him over the years? Bath time saying here he hit a shot straight out of Hackney Marshes. Oh my gosh, we come on. Yeah, well, let's talk about that now. I couldn't believe it. I had my missus sitting with me, and she said I could do better than that because they showed the replay, and I was like, oh my god, Ram, what are you doing? He was sort of like 30 yards out, slightly to on the right hand side, and he could usually Ram plays it short or plays, or at least he could have crossed the ball. He hit a blazing shot and just went full stand Z or something like that. Crazy. Don't know what he's thinking, but Hackney Marshes, yeah, for sure. Do you want a friend to talk to on Monday? Yeah, jump on, bro. Jump on if you're around. You know that. Yeah, surely Bath time. You've got the link. You're in the YouTube channel. You can get it if you want to jump on, man. How did Sancho do? We come to that performance. I thought he done really well. Obviously, people think I'm biased, so I'll explain why I think he done well. I just don't like Garnacho's hair. I think he needs a decent barber and should dye his hair black. Otherwise, world class one day. That's Zoe Media House. I don't like his hair either. This blonde look. I remember Kanye West and did the blonde look. It's supposed to have a double meaning where you sort of bit of chaos when you do all that. And whenever people go blonde like that, it's literally going blonde, dumb, and some stupidness happens. I don't know what he's up to. The game emphasizes what we already knew about United, that we need a striker to address the chronic prolificity, and Fred looks good when they are a goal up and not chasing the game. Ten Hag is working wonders. Big up, Bart, with that. He also says here we go. We've got bath time in the house. Wonderful. Bath time is here as well.
Hello, boys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Bath time. I'm just going to read these comments and we come into it. I'm glad you watched the game. I'm glad you can jump on like that. I didn't have to send you the link. With Southampton officially regular relegated, United should take a look at the centre-back, Kochpak and Salamana. And the midfielder I like. The midfielder is Carl Walker-Peters is better than Dalot, says Bart. Anthony and Wan-Bissaka partnership is just that good, says Emma. Yeah, they looked okay today. And Zoe Media House saying, thought Sancho was brilliant all game. He had his moments. Bath time, just a little intro from you. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just in the middle of a coughing fit, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, let it all out.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Managed to watch the game and just doing a little post-match thing, just a little light-hearted one. Not too serious. Big 3 points, man. Massive 3 points today.
Yeah, huge. Like, I've been worried for bloody ages about us sort of like getting over the line to the degree that I was wondering if if City win the Champions League, does that mean fifth gets a spot? Which
oh god,
I don't think it does. I'm not sure. But yeah, that really eased the nerves today. I thought we played some really good stuff at times, really good stuff. But there's still problems in that team. But I mean, it would take a disaster at epic proportions not to hit Champions League now. So onwards and upwards, future's bright.
It was at 1-0. You just never know, do you? Even late in the game, once they started pushing guys on the walls late in the game, getting subs on, and they started trying to sort of create chances. I was a bit worried, to be honest. And then the manager made some counteracting changes. He brought 3 players on at one time to sort of secure the win, and we got the result with Garnacho. All right, starting the game early on. Anthony missed target from like central run. He got played in and on his left foot, and he sort of cut inside, as you know he's going to do, and he hit it wide from just outside the box. Do you remember that early on?
Yeah,
8 minutes on.
yeah, I do. Like Anthony drives me wild, to
Yeah.
be perfectly honest. He's one of the most frustrating players I think I've ever seen. And
Why?
he's just
Why do you say that? I mean, what is it about him? Watching him, why do you get frustrated? Is it because he's got better? He's got more in him, and he's not delivering. What? Why do you say that, half time?
because it's kind of like I've got a mate called Russ who isn't very coordinated,
Yeah,
and a lot of the time you can see when he's about to drop something before he drops it, and that's how I feel like with Anthony. I know what he's going to do. I know he's not a clean ball striker,
yeah,
and like for the goal. If you look at the goal, you see Martial's movement is exactly what I want from a striker. He just kind of stops, and
yeah.
the defenders have to cover the space. Martial stops. It's a tap in. I love those sort of goals. Like there's a lot going on with that goal, but it looks so simple and beautiful. And what frustrates me so much about like Anthony is I think if I were in the box or I was out, outside the box supporting the play, what do you do with someone like that who, at the same time, is incredibly predictable, but is also because of his what I think is quite poor technique, is incredibly erratic as well. So he drives me mad because I just there's no consistency to his play apart from the fact that it just is very unproductive,
Let's
and
talk
that's
about the
why.
goal because
All right.
we've gone from a low point until I think it's quite positive for him. He got played in. Casemiro won the ball in the centre of the park and
Hmm.
played it to Bruno. And Bruno once again with his head up. You've mentioned this before about his distribution and be able to play people in. He played in Anthony, and Anthony was sort of coming down the right, kind of central, and he done the right thing. His decision making was great because he looked up and just had to square it with his right foot across the 6-yard box, and there was Martial basically with an open goal with a defender there, but he just slotted it home. I thought that
Yeah.
was good decision making. I thought it was a beautiful goal to watch as well, and won by Casemiro, by the way. He sort of done his work in midfield to get the ball initially, and then it was just a nice, smooth passing move.
That was
And
delicious.
yeah, yeah,
Everything about it, from the second that like Bruno gets on the ball, if you're a forward, just make your run, and he'll try and get it to you. And Anthony just he just did just the simple stuff. Just get the ball and give it to someone, and like it doesn't matter if it's in the box or if it's 10 yards out. Just direct and then give it to your teammate. We score the goal. That's the winner, and that's why simple goals are so important.
you know what? I'm with you on that one because always wanted to see Anthony just come off the touchline, make runs off the ball, and get played in those sort of areas. And that's what we saw today with the goal. And like you said, when you break it down, it's so simple. You win the ball, pop it early to somebody who got his head up like Bruno, plays in Anthony, who's already made the run and looking for him. And I think when Bruno does get the ball, players like Anthony, Portuguese speaking, would be buzzing. Right, I'm on this. I'm going to get past to here. And I think there's a respect level there because I don't know if you noticed or you've played in sides before where someone gets the ball, you know they're not going to get the pass of somebody because there's a disrespect level. But I don't see that with Anthony and Bruno. I think Bruno's always willing to play this guy in. And yeah, for him to square it like that, decision making like that, for me, I'm proud of him because it just shows. Because he does his stats. People say about his stats. People judge people on his stats. He's got an assist, and it's a very simple assist. He didn't need to
Yeah.
try to take on his man, or he could have taken his man and tried to shoot like he did many times in the game, but he just squared it right. Do you think Martial actually said, "Yeah, I'm free," or do you think Martial's run just that was the obvious choice there? Just left him.
Martial is just really good at football. Like, I know he irritates a lot of people, and that they think he's lugubrious, which means like that
Yeah,
he's
he's
got a
dominant.
face on. But the thing is that he just did what great strikers do. Thierry Henry used to do this: is you attack the space, and sometimes to attack the space, you stand still and you let defenders vacate it. And like his part in that goal is really really important because if he runs, Anthony just dribbles it 5 yards to behind him. We don't get the 3 points and we're in
Yeah.
problems. But I just hope Ten Hag just shows that goal to Anthony again and again and again, and says like, look, this is brilliant. Let's have more of this, and less of you like smacking the ball all over the place like an errant child.
Is it a positive to say, because he had a lot of opportunities today where he had shots on goal, but is that a positive or is that a negative? Should he be delivering? Should he have scored a couple or brace maybe? Would he come off the pitch thinking I've done enough today? Because I can recall many times he pulled a trigger and it's either gone wide, like we said earlier, after 8 minutes, it's hit the defender's legs. He's had a few opportunities. Is that a positive because he's got in the right positions, or is it a negative to say he needs to do better in these situations?
I think it's a negative all round. I know the point you mean about getting in the right positions, but that is that's the product of your teammates and them working and things. It's not, you haven't just sort of whistled and the ball's flown towards you. It's other people have done that, innit? But for me, all season we've seen real problems with Anthony in the final third, his decision making and his quality. And today we got a flash of what I hope we see next season, of directness and a simple pass, and we get a goal and we get the 3 points. We get more of that on both flanks next season, and we'll be 10 points better off than we are at the moment. We got same amount of goals as Leicester, and they're like in the relegation zone. We've got to start getting making more chances and taking less stupid shots.
Yeah.
For me,
Overcomplicating things a lot of the time is stupid. I know you said about technique, but he has got a lot of skill, and he gets off from taking people on and trying things. But yeah, in those situations, that was
his
just
ball striking's poor, Amonde.
I don't know, because he scores these wonderful goals curled in from that sort of half space area. Or if you look at his highlight reel, and even the goals he
Yeah,
scored.
but look how many shots he's taken and how many have gone in. There's been I can remember one against Barcelona, and I can't remember. There've been others. No, but Arsenal wasn't that sort of like that half space shot. That shot you're talking about, I think it's only gone in twice, and he tries it about 4 or 5 times a game. That's not good enough. He's got to either cut that out of his game, or like add more variation to it. Like, I'd love to see him try that, but near post.
Yeah, I noticed today as well. I was added to my notes that Wan-Bissaka, he did play in Wan-Bissaka a couple of times. Wan-Bissaka done the overlap, and he played him in. Lovely weight pass, and because defenders are waiting, standing up, and if you got a runner like that overlapping you, don't ignore him. Showed a lot of respect to Wan-Bissaka, and people. Someone in the comments said earlier that they're working well together down that flank. You seen any improvements between Anthony and Wan-Bissaka? Because it was said before in the past with Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka, there was no real combinations there, comparing it to the other side with Shaw and Rashford when a couple of seasons ago. Are you seeing any improvement in that area?
Not, to be honest, not really. I mean, like Greenwood was 2-footed for one, so he used like Wan-Bissaka more as a dummy runner. Like Anthony is so incredibly left-footed, despite getting an assist on his right, that he has to use Wan-Bissaka at points, which is fine. But Wan-Bissaka is also erratic in the box. Like, he does a lot of fun stuff. He turns into Wijnaldinho and just does sort of like he just does crazy stuff that is great to see. But there's no end product. And that's what, if like, we're all pretty delighted. Well, not delighted, but I think we're very happy with the progress that we're seeing from United this season. But we still need to keep our standards high. And what we've got to start seeing now is efficiency in key areas. And Wan-Bissaka and Anthony, they're incredibly inefficient with what they're doing. Like they're not creating. There's no cutbacks to like our pivot players. It's a lot of turning inside. It's a lot of pretty unproductive tricks and things. And I'd like to see better use of the ball, less selfish play, and just not this kind of like jazz that they get up to, just improvisation when we're 1-0 up.
Yeah,
Like do that if we're 3-0 up against Colchester,
yeah.
but not against Wolves at home when we need Champions League.
I'm going to go through some comments by half time. Stop me if
Word.
you want to counter any of these points here. Zoe saying under Ole, the same-ish Wolves team would give us problems. Barely won. Now under Ten Hag, it was like playing Bangladesh. Interesting point there. You know we should go with that. Emma's saying here to Bill Baggio, I'm just talking about today's game, to be honest. We are not going to get amazing looking performances every week. I just want effective performances every week. Which is fair enough. Big up to Jeff, our favourite referee from US of A. He said, Viva Garnacho. Does that mean long live Viva? Or what does Viva mean?
I can't think of the translation. It's like it's long live would be perfectly fine.
Boy Wonder strikes again or scores again. Big up Jeff, man. Did he get an assist or involved in the goal? Hopefully that's been explained now from Bath time. Zoe saying here, Anthony's best season will be next season with 12 months under his belt. Remember, it took Ronaldo a few seasons to break through. We got Jeff saying here, Anthony should have played in the first shot he took and made the header 3-0 at half time. Okay, so yeah, there's a few chances there from Anthony, which has been highlighted by Jeff. Bill Baggio, this is from Emma to you, Bill. But you don't need to touch the ball to be effective. A lot of football is just about being in the way. They're having a private discussion. Yes, man. How you doing? Yes, man. Welcome to the agenda. He's saying, well done. You got your English owner. Dumb fans. United are finished. Okay, that's not a very positive comment. That's about the Ratcliffe situation, isn't it? With what's going on with the ownership. Jeff saying here, all good, Bill. No weather report today since we've won. Jeff is in the US of A. Very hot out there, I imagine. Bill Baggio to Emma, that's what we bought him for. I'm okay if he isn't racing around, just as long as he is involved in goals. If he isn't doing this regularly, then I can't see why we keep him after next season. I think you're talking about Sancho. Jim Mack, how you doing? I said a 4-0 surprisingly easy win. I say that most days. Stats, I should have been right at least once. Yeah, maybe. Have we had a 4-0? I'm not sure if we have this season. Zoe saying here, exactly, Anthony, still young, like at Sancho. Fans forget how young they are. I think we need to back these guys. They are 22, 23, 24. They've still got time to improve. Martial should have had 3 if his partners were not selfish shooters. That's from Jeff. I can't recall Martial. Maybe he's been in the right position. Bill Baggio, this is from Emma, said we aren't done developing as a team though. We are at the start of it. We see because he can be a fantastic under Ten Hag, and we've seen glimpses this season. So there's a lot. Emma's always so positive, isn't she, Bath time? Fans are dumb. Pundits, journalists want finished article. Nani took a season or 2 to get going. He was always injured in the first couple of seasons. So a lot of support here for the players. Nani is a Man United legend right now, and Anthony has the same potential. That's from Zoe Media House. So you're signed there, Bath time.
I'm a fan of Nani, but to describe him as a Man United legend is that's outrageous, to be perfectly honest. But I like Nani. He was a fun player, and I like backflips. So yeah.
Eddie Football, go and check out his channel. He's in the house as well. He's giving high regards to everybody in the chat. And also we've got Solo. How you doing, Solo? You're probably at work right now, but yeah, we're just giving an update about the result today. It was a good performance. We ended up winning 2-0. And hit the like button, guys. I don't know how many likes we've got so far, but surely not enough. Finally, Bill Badger saying Nani was painful. I thought Nani was fantastic, 2-footed, direct, and he's contributed really well to a great team. It's just overshadowed a bit by Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought he was a great little player.
I think we're somewhere in between there, aren't we? But he's somewhere in between painful and legend. I think both of those statements aren't really accurate.
Yeah. All right, second half now. All I've got written here is Anthony, another shot. Bruno backheeled for him in the box, and Anthony shot just wide again. So he could have had a brace or maybe a hat trick today. There was a sub on the 68th minute because Wolves did try to step it up a little bit, but they didn't really get in behind us, didn't really threaten us. Do you agree with that? I mean, we were quite comfortable with Wolves.
I think up until like they opened up about 75 or something like that, but felt we were comfortable. There were a couple of hairy moments at the back. Like Varane had a moment where I'm not completely sure what was going on between him and De Gea, and there was also another moment later with Wan-Bissaka and De Gea as well, and there was also one with Lindelof where I don't know if you heard it on your TV, but I heard a woman scream and like absolute like in just she was terrified when like Lindelof passed the ball back. But I think we were comfortable and with just more efficiency and a bit more care, we'd have put the game out of sight by then.
I mean, but what do you think about Wolves as a football side? They've managed to get out of relegation zone. They've got 40 points now. They've done something right. Do you think they're well organised? Do you think they've got like a lot of threats that we had to be concerned about? I mean, watching them today, they've got a lot of Portuguese, Spanish players and a Spanish manager as well. But I felt that they were just dull and they didn't really have much sting or much punch. And obviously with Diego Costa, he's getting on in age now, holds up the ball pretty well, but didn't really do much. And he's a partner who's quite lightning, but he didn't really get in behind us too much as well. So I thought they were lacking that sort of punch, Wolves, and I'd be concerned about them next season, considering they've got this bad trouble.
I don't know, because the thing is that we are like formidable at home. It's the end of the season. They're completely safe.
Right.
They have nothing really to play for, except possibly not getting our shoe in like off us. So I think they just went up there. They played unadventurous and compact. They probably knew and score a lot of goals, and they did what a lot of good football teams do, which is be competitive until the final whistle goes. But looking at them, I know a lot of people like Ruben Neves. Once again, I thought he wasn't that great. Like,
did you think he played well? Because you play midfield, and I was leading to that about Neves. Out of all their players, he's the most sort of famous player, and he's been linked to us before. How do you think he performed today? I mean, you're a midfielder, you play in that similar role. Did he do enough for you?
No, I've never been a fan of Ruben Neves. I think that he's not good at spotting danger. Like he does all the sort of basic stuff. Like do you remember like how everyone used to have a go at Pogba for jogging?
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what you want to be doing 90% of the time as a sort of like an attacking team. Because if you sprint back, you basically end up in a low block. You have to have your midfield coming back at a certain rate. But Pogba, and it's the same with Neves, they never saw the moment where you need to transition into like, we're under pressure here. And I need to get back and I need to close that space down or stop or protect the centre mainly. And Neves is pretty much the same, is that he leaves a bit too much space in behind. You saw Bruno exploited him all the time. Like Bruno does this really clever thing where Bruno like hides behind the ref, where he gets on the ref's shoulder. Yeah. And then moves into. He tries to sort of like the Hunt for Red October, go into silent and get behind people.
Stealth mode.
Yeah, he tries to use the ref as like a blocker, and I was watching him do it, and Ruben Neves just didn't pick up on it at any point. But I know a lot of people like him because he's an aesthetically pleasing footballer. But once again, you saw no real impact on the game from him. Very little fight, and it was I can't remember who the name of the other midfielder was. The one that went past three people.
Yeah,
he impressed me more.
Yeah, Lamina.
Yeah, he nearly got three of our players on 3 yellow cards with one run. It was incredible.
Just going back to Ruben Neves, I think his stock, he's been at Wolves such a long time. His stock was quite high at one period of time. But I like your little breakdown there because you want to see, technically he's good, but you want to see a bit more aggression. You want to see a bit more desire. And I was thinking during the game, because I was watching him, I was thinking to myself, where's your drive? You are at Wolves all this time. You haven't moved on. It should be a step up if you're really going to be that guy, that player. And there's something missing about him. Just want to throw a comment to you, funny one. Zoe Media House, because you were talking about Nanny. Half time sounds young. Maybe it's your new mic. Says, so maybe you never saw Nanny in his peak. Can you respond to that, please?
Yes, I had a season ticket when Nani was in his peak, and I have seen him, but I'm always up for these comments.
She's trying to tempt you to reveal your age, but it's not going to work. Jeff saying here, 1 foot in the Champions League game. That's really positive for us. Hopefully, we end up the goalkeeper now. Bentley, just debut. Imagine not having a debut at Old Trafford. He came from Bristol City, I believe. We've got a few people like Anthony Herbert brothers from Bristol. Bentley made some fantastic saves. I hoped he would be Puet saving goals today because of his debut. But he did. He made some really good saves, to be fair to him. De Gea's Golden Glove confirmed. He's got most clean sheets, I imagine. There's another one today. Hopefully, the 2-0 will give us confidence, says Bill Baggio, and that should unlock some more goals. Hopefully, definitely. Bill Baggio, this is from Jeff. Bill Baggio, we had tons of chances. Should not have been a nail biter until the Garnacho goal. And obviously, I was just going to talk about the subs here. Oh, sorry. Bill Baggio, talk about Neves because we were on that. Neves has been there too long. He's the same as Rice. Both need a message via to step up to the next level. I'll take Neves out of the two. So you take Neves out of Neves and Rice.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd definitely take Rice. Rice is much better.
Yeah.
Drive. Ruben Neves' issue is he stays at Wolves too long. The sub, 68th minute. Martial came off. Do you think that's an issue because you want to keep him rested for the next few games? Maybe he can't play full 90 at the moment.
Yeah, I think I think that you're not getting 90 minutes out of him and Rafa Varane today. We got a cup final coming up against City, and Martial was unbelievable in the 2-1 City at Old Trafford where we beat City.
Right.
He sat on Rodri, and it's one of the best defensive performances I've seen from our forwards since Danny Welbeck actually against Real Madrid many years ago. But I think it's you just got to keep him in cotton wool because I like Weghorst. I like a lot of the things that Weghorst does. But I can't see that man doing much against City in the final. So I think it's keep Martial as fit as possible.
And then Sancho had a great chance. He cut in onto his right foot in the box. Nice close control. He had a detour run from Weghorst, which just kind of created a bit of space for him. And the goalkeeper made another great save. He hit it to the near post. So that was Sancho's opportunity to bang a goal. And then the 3 subs in a row. We had Fred for Eriksen. This is in the 79th minute. To respond today, made quite a few subs. Fred for Eriksen. Harry Maguire for Varane. As you said, Varane's just come back from injury. And Garnacho for Sancho. And Garnacho got a rousing applause from the fans. It's like he's a fan's favourite now, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Ollie in the crowd today, I don't know if you could hear the songs.
I saw that,
but it was a whole medley of there was Andy Cole songs. There was "You Are My Solskjaer." It was the greatest hits of Old Trafford, and it's quite mad that Garnacho's taken the Ronaldo song within 6 months. But sorry, what do you want to talk about with the subs? How they did, or why they were?
Yeah, first of all, why were they the subs brought on? I thought it was in reaction to what Wolves were doing because they took off Lamina in midfield and sort of pushed on Traore, and they started having a few crosses in and all that kind of thing. And also, obviously, we get onto it, but I mean, Garnacho for Sancho. A lot of people saying Sancho's it's the end for him. Garnacho scoring, that's going to make a huge difference as well. Talk about the goal as well, because the manager looks cool right now, bringing on Garnacho. And I'm going to come on to some stats as well, which suggest that we should have won the game by more. But before we do bath times about the subs and everything, did you see the header from the corner that we had? And this giant 7-footer, Weghorst, was in the box, and he just had to go good morning, just head it down. For some reason, it's just gone over the bar. He's going to get criticised a lot. And I was a bit like, come on, man. That's standard. You head the ball down. Just get it on target. Your thoughts?
I know. Well, the thing is, that is a shocker. We've all done that Like we've all done things like that, but unfortunately, I thought that was one of Veghorst's probably one of his best cameos that we've seen so far with everything else he did. And then because the simple thing that everyone sees, he gets it wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit sorry for him because I love so much of what he does. He doesn't have the quality, and he's really trying hard. And I think it's handshakes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good luck with the career. And it's a shame because he stands for a lot of things that I value highly in
Just
in
going back to the
football.
subs, so Fred came on for Ericsson at this
Yep.
stage. Why do you think these subs are made? What did it impact? What's the manager thinking with the Fred Ericsson one?
What Fred for Ericsson? Well, I mean, I think that you're pretty much spot on with what you said. It was a reaction to what was happening in terms of Wolves. Wolves were gonna commit a lot of men forward, so we have to commit people back to defend it because we're not. We're not idiots. We have to defend.
Yeah.
So you put Fred on for his energy, because Ericsson, despite the fact I thought Ericsson actually had a pretty good game today. He doesn't have the mobility or the running power of Fred.
Yeah.
So you get Fred on just to do Fred things. Maguire came on to shore up the defence, and I got to say I thought Maguire was extremely impressive
Yeah.
today. Like there was a bit of defending where I think it looked like there could be a shout for a penalty, and I remember thinking to myself, if that's a penalty, like let's just all go home because that was absolutely world class defending.
Yeah.
It,
So the ball came across the 6-yard box,
Yeah.
near post. Maguire had to get there first because their striker was coming onto the ball. It was the guy who had the head injury. What's his name? The Mexican striker who's big and strong.
Raul
Maguire-
Jimenez.
Yeah, Gimenez. Maguire was strong, got there first, muscled him, got his body there, and blocked the ball coming across. And it could have gone anywhere. So I thought that was brilliant defending by Maguire.
That's the best defending I saw all day. Like that was really, really. I mean, I thought Varane had an extremely good game, but that from Maguire reminded me of why I rate him. I thought he did everything right when he came on, and then Garnacho, like this little slim shady, just sort of
That's the one. Yeah.
just comes on. But if you want to talk about Sancho versus sort of Garnacho, I'm Garnacho skeptical because I'm not a huge fan of his attitude and his flashness and things. Like he was late in pre-season and stuff. I know he's essentially a child, but I worry that we need to get a grip on him, just to make sure that he doesn't turn into a Janusai or something. But that goal on Monday is that was world class what he did.
Yeah.
Like right, okay, so the running off the ball is fairly standard. To anyone who's seen our shows about transition, start off wide, then move central. Weghorst was also extremely important in that goal, and Bruno played the ball through. But he gets the ball, he slows down, he gets the defender to commit to a side. But what's so genius about it is he notices the goalkeeper's committed to that side as well, and a slight snake hips movement, just keeping the ball on the right, and then solid contact with the inside of his foot, hard in off the post. Now you compare that to what Sancho did, where Sancho did like he got the ball, he cut inside, and he reversed it across the keeper, and it didn't go in. Garnacho, in a much tougher situation, scored the goal, and I think I'm now in camp Garnacho after Sancho because that was real quality from Garnacho. Like genuinely, that's really top quality football. There's not a lot of forwards in world football with that level of improvisation and understanding of the situation. I was blown away with that goal, and I felt so sorry for Weghorst, who looked daggers at him, because the other thing he could have done is just roll the ball to Weghorst and watch him trip over.
But go back in this move. So Wolves are pushing at this point. We cleared the ball, and it came to Bruno, and Bruno's the one guy who played him in again.
Yeah, it was we.
So we
It
started from way in our half,
Well,
literally.
Maguire won a header,
Um,
and it was like, well, it was either him or Casemiro. They both went for it, and it broke. And then I don't know, the modern Michael Owen.
the way he finished, I've seen Michael Owen finish like that as
Yeah,
well.
like I mean, like the young Michael Owen, his finishing was outrageous. But I imagine Garnacho is a lot more interesting than Michael Owen. Certainly his personal life is. But we saw, so with that break, what we saw was we saw Maguire win the ball in the centre of the pitch, and we saw Garnacho and Weghorst split.
Yeah.
Right, they both went out wide, and what that means is that you give the two remaining centre backs a problem, which is do they go with a man or do they protect the centre? And with Weghorst, they protected, they went with the man because you're not getting outrun by Weghorst. But with Garnacho, the guy started protecting the centre. He felt the wind from Garnacho as he's moving past him, moved across, I think, to try and block him a bit. Slow him down, just get an elbow in, essentially. Bruno played the ball through, and Garnacho's stocky and he's strong, and he's got South American hips, which look like little thorns on them. He just shimmies him out of the way and goes through. I'm so pleased Ollie was there because it was just a classic transition United goal. It was absolutely fabulous. But even though that goal was great and the finish and the approach from Garnacho was world class, I'm much more pleased with the first goal, which is just a simple tap in.
Yeah.
And I want more of that.
Yeah. I'm on the same page as you. I do agree. I think, just want to talk about the stats, just to give you a feel of the game. Possession was near enough 50-50. It was 48 to us, 52 to them. But here's where I'm talking about finishing the dinner. We had 27 shots. They had 5. 9 of the 27 shots was on target, and they had 0 shots on target. So that gives you a feel of what was happening in the game. We should have scored more goals, in my opinion.
Have you got the XG?
No, I'm on BBC website.
Okay.
I haven't got the XG or anything like that.
Because how many of those shots are like? I mean, Bruno had the shot from the corner, which annoyed me a little bit because if you're going to do that in the first 5 minutes. So that keeper is thinking about it for the rest of the game. Don't do it in the 92nd minute. Yeah. You got Anthony just doing all his stuff. Like Casemiro had a silly shot from outside of the box as well. I'm sure there were others, but I mean, like, I know we had a huge amount of shots, but what I want is high quality opportunities.
Yeah.
Not all this just banging the ball and sit like Varane had a Varane shot as well. Well, I rate that.
Wow. You gotta have a go in it. Maybe he's on a bet. Don't you have a bet sometime? Oh, he ain't scored yet for Varane. I don't know if he has scored this season, but like I know in most clubs, people saying, I want 5 goals this year. I want 10, double figures. Do you have that in your team? Bath time? Are you like how many goals are you on? And how's your injury, by the way? Because it says here hips don't lie. That just reminded me about your injuries. Are you improving?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Like, it's just very unfortunate that the season is finished, so it's now on to like 5-a-side, which I do like, but it's not the same as 11s.
Okay, so for everyone out there, let people know. Give me 3 or 4 players that performed really well today, and just talk to Bath time about the up and coming game. Can you give us confidence that we're going to be okay now based on this win today? Do you see enough?
Right, players that played well. Varane, I thought was good. I thought Shaw was excellent. I thought that Eriksen was good. I thought that Bruno was good, and that I think that Weghorst, Garnacho, and Maguire all did pretty well when they came on.
Yeah.
As for like the remainder of the season, everything points to the fact we should get Champions League, but we have been let down by these players and this team a few times this season. So as long as we keep concentration, as long as like Ten Hag doesn't start messing about and is just pragmatic, get the points, then we'll see. And then we got a cup final playing up coming up. Got a lot of players playing for their future.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything's good and there's no distractions from takeovers or whatever, and the players just concentrate and get the job done.
Yeah, most certainly. Bath time. Before we finish up, going to wind it up now. I agree with you about the players have done well. I thought there was a few guys who stood up today and represented. But let's talk about the show we did the other day because it's coming out. Why should someone become a member? Because you get exclusive viewing of this show. We do a weekly show now that Bath Time's hosting, and we're trying to get special guests on. I really enjoyed the show this week. Do you want to give people a flavour and why they should become members?
Well, no, not really, because it's not. You can watch it without being a member. You just get it later. I want to make it really clear that this isn't just for members. It's just that members get it earlier. But it was with a Cambridge United scout and youth coach, hopefully part one of many. We talked about a lot of stuff, to be honest. And I can't lie, it was really exciting, and it was great to speak to someone who was a lot like me, to be honest.
Yeah. I swear, you separate at birth. You two, you're like everything he was saying. That's Bath Time. I couldn't believe it.
It was really
make sure you check out this show.
Yeah, but I think like the next one that we do with him will be much more in depth on sort of like scouting and coaching. But if you're ever interested in what it takes to sort of like live a life in football, and all the different places it can take you and how you see the game, then like this interview with Marcos is absolutely fantastic. It gives you real insight, and I hope that you'll enjoy it because we loved it, didn't we, Amanda?
Excellent stuff, guys. Please tune in to that show. It's well worth watching, or just listening on your iPods or whatever you listen to in the gym or whatever. It's a great show. And Rich Sports also joined us as well. Go and check out his channel. But that's it for now. We won 2-0. Who we got to look out for? Liverpool playing next. So hopefully they'll get a negative result, and it'll make it easy for us to get this top four. But Bath Time, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you. It was short notice, but
always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We're signing out, guys. God bless and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.